As many as 9 out of 10 digital products that reach the open market die within 5 years. This is not something clients want to hear, but they should know it's not an easy game to play with. What is the most often cause of failures? Can they be avoided? In this video, we will cover all that. Enjoy watching. Who needs this? When creating products, we often make a hypothesis based on our observations or personal experiences. Almost half of all startups fail because no one needs their solution. The problem doesn't exist. It's not a priority to address in the company, or the cost of solving it's not proportional to the scale of the problem. That's why it's crucial to define whom we actually want to help and how. Once we know this, let's talk to the target group first. Propose a solution outline. Confront what's in your heads with the market. Ask potential customers if they would be willing to implement such a solution. At this stage, we can even estimate the potential financial, operational, time, and even sociological benefits of our solution might bring. Try to determine how the idea can help the businesses of your clients. Calculate the scale of benefits for them. If the benefits significantly outweigh the cost of having the solution, it is often a great starting point to spark interest in your product. Build a list of the first companies ready to implement your solution. This is often the stage where we learn about additional conditions we must meet for the implementation to be possible. When customers give you feedback, it's essential that you carefully implement it to ensure that the solution doesn't only solve the specific problems of the one organization, but also helps other companies. In summary, acquire the first beta testers willing to use your solution. In most cases, this stage is often possible and should happen before any software development. It should also simultaneously confirm your initial hypothesis. As a result, you will find out that it's not only you who thinks the solution is needed for the market. A team with previous successes has a 30% higher chance of another success compared to those doing it for the first time. But it's not just about experience. The right team composition is also important. A common mistake to avoid is initially assembling a team with people too similar. You may ask, similar in what sense? It's about what they bring to the table: skills, predispositions, and knowledge. For example, a team composed only of technical people might struggle with selling the solution. On the other hand, a team mainly of salespeople might not deliver a working solution on time or promise a solution that cannot be delivered due to external constraints. So, look at your team and ask yourself these questions. Who is responsible for the product vision and ultimately makes decisions? Who is responsible for product marketing? Who deals with clients as the salesperson? Who shapes the product? Who makes technological choices? Can you answer these questions easily? Are you sure the people you mentioned are the right ones? Let me know in the comments below. Coming back to the questions above, some of those roles, especially at the beginning, will be performed by 1, 2, or 3 people, but it's important that each person brings something others cannot. In simpler words, ensure team is diverse. This topic is somewhat the continuation of the first point regarding product market fit, which I remind you is crucial for any business. But here I wanted to focus another aspect I've sometimes encountered. Owners devote 99% of their energy to creating the product itself. Why? The product should be the most important. Well, it's not. The customer and their needs are the most important. Without a customer, there is no product. That's why it is absolutely crucial to dedicate more time to the customer than to creating the product itself. Because, and in fact, by doing this, we are truly dedicating ourselves to creating a necessary product. Check how much of your business energy, budget, and time goes into selling the product compared to the creative process itself. Much depends on distribution channels and reaching customers. It could be that we make a product at the request of waiting customers, as I mentioned earlier, which is the best scenario, but it could also be that we just started to penetrate the market. In this case, we should have both time, appropriate people, and financial resources, especially until our product is in the scale-up phase and we are still blazing trails in the market. So, what is the healthy sales ratio compared to the other tasks in your company? Personally, I don't know. I would say it depends, but generally the more the better. I have encountered companies that had twice as many salespeople as product creators, but also those that had only 20 to 30% of the team responsible for sales. Much depends on the company's strategy, vision, and goals. the market will appreciate it someday. Maybe so, but it's more likely that the market is signaling that this is not what it needs right now. What we do with this information can mean the survival or collapse of our organization. That's why it's worth regularly questioning what we do by comparing it with the market. What works at one time may become useless 1 or 2 years later. It is crucial to be in a continuous communication loop with customers and listen to them carefully. They hold the answer. If we see that a change in direction or a pivot will significantly increase value for our customers, it's worth considering and testing it. Being stubborn and sticking only to our guns makes sense in certain circumstances, but it's important to back it up not only with the personal thoughts, but also with the hard data that makes us believe our solution will eventually conquer the market. Sometimes it just takes repackaging our product's value proposition differently for the market to understand it better. A good example is OpenAI, which was initially available mainly for developers through an API interface. When it introduced the chat format, understandable to the average internet user, the solution's popularity exploded, reaching the masses. Nevertheless, there is a way to not waste too many resources and test your product in the market. Simply start with MVP, which will help you test the market needs and user engagement. Just click the link in the description below and find out if it's possible to build MVP for 10K. The solution must be perfect. Well, not always. In fact, it almost never is. We humans are not perfect. The solution we create will never be perfect either. And as I mentioned earlier, the goal is to confront the market as quickly as possible. In our dynamic environment, often the first, if not taking everything, at least takes the significant portion of the market. Software development is becoming easier, which means it's becoming easier to realize ideas that digitalize our world. It means that if you have been building a product for several years and clients still haven't seen it because it still needs improvements or has to solve 15 problems instead of just 14 problems, you might be the biggest enemy of your product. Clients want to improve their organizations as soon as possible, and if you have something that will move them a few steps or even one step forward, it's a great time to do so. The common mistakes I mentioned sink many product organizations, not because founders don't want to create a cool solution, but often because they identify too closely with what they are creating. Their solutions are created most often not for them, but for their customers, and that's worth remembering. Only the customer can objectively assess whether something makes sense or not, so it's worth maximizing touch points with them and letting them evaluate as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check other videos to get more insights on the business approach to digital products.